this board would be so kind to hear me out for a few minutes.
Yes, sir.
This whole thing in this particular corner started long before I became a commissioner. It was merchants from the area that I understood complained so much from what was going on that code enforcement that did not want to take action was forced to take action on that particular problem. I don't know if there are any pictures that you have here. Does my office have pictures of this and my staff could bring? And I apologize, I usually come prepared, but I didn't know this item was coming out, and as I was heading out the door, I was told that it was coming up. And it's important for you to see this picture because not one of you would allow this kind of stuff anywhere near your homes. Certainly, if this would be thrown out like this in Coconut Grove, they tar and feather the city to get rid of it. If it would happen in another part of my own district, the roads, they wouldn't allow it, or the northeast part. But they're doing this because this is a poor area of residents that many don't know their rights. Many are new immigrants to Miami, and they're asking for a farmer's market. Well, a farmer's market, in order to have it, you do need 5,000 minimum square feet that you could have it of open space. But beyond that, a farmer's market could only be issued by the city on a temporary basis for products that are going to be grown in the ground, vegetables, etc., within 100 miles of Miami. A real farmer's market. When they were closed down, what they had there was anything but a farmer's market. It was a flea market. And that's why the other merchants were complaining about it, and they forced code to take action. Action they did not want to take. What they're asking for is a farmer's market, but I assure you what's going to come up there is not going to be a farmer's market because they intend to go back to the same thing. But
objection.
You cannot prove that now, so I can only go to what was there before. During this time, all those kiosks, if you want to call it that, what I call them is what they are, 1/3 containers that were cut up on site. They made an industrial site between that lot and the one in back of it that's zoned multifamily residential. In fact, you still have the halls of some of them that were left cut in half. And in the back one, that has nothing to do with this one, you even have 20-foot containers that are there, where they're still parking illegally vehicles. The problem that you have right now is that none of these permits that were issued by individuals from this city that knew better, should have ever been issued, because when it was brought up by my office of numerous violations and code enforcement violations that were there, that anyone except a blind code enforcement officer could have seen. Like, for instance, you take over alleyway and you build illegally, not to standard, and you have in the middle a telephone pole, a utility pole, that has live electricity on top. I've never seen that in my life, in any city, except maybe third, fourth, fifth world, outside of Miami. And you'll know that not just for a farmer's market, but for anything that someone comes and asks for in a piece of property, if you have code violations, and they have more than the one that I described, they cannot be issued. Now, approximately 2 months ago or so, after a magistrate gave, I think it was the second or third extension, I don't know how many extensions I've got in this, it's been one after another through the magistrates. Knowing well, because the assistant city attorney stated that it couldn't be done because they were not in compliance with code. They stated that they only needed 30 more days. But here we are. And that's why they said that they needed the previous 30 extension they got. But the city attorney, right after that, sent an email to her assistant here that the zoning director was copied. Yes, Rachel. The zoning director was copied on that email. And she included what the law of our city says in farmer's market, that you cannot issue a farmer's market if you have code violations in a property. And I don't think anyone can say here that there are none other. The zoning director answered in the response, that's clear. And then about a month and a half later, on behalf of the city manager, I guess it wasn't clear to him what our code says, because he signed up on it. And this is the problem that I've been having when it relates to these individuals in so many properties.
Commissioner, with all due respect, I must ask you a question right there.
Yes,
Please say
what do we like?
Please. Okay, say that again. Who signed off on it?
The zoning director, knowing darn well that it was illegal. He acknowledged it a month and a half before, and if he didn't know it, he shouldn't be working as a zoning director. I mean, the city attorney did not have to point out to him what our code is. But see, part of the problem that we're having, that I found out when I came back that it wasn't the same city that I left 16 years ago. Some of the other establishments owned by associates gave Christmas parties to our code enforcement, building and zoning. Everybody was happy. Nobody paid a penny. And this is the kind of crap that's going on, and I could bring witness to numerous things.
Commissioner, as I stated even before you got up here, I said, who signed off on this and what are we going to do about that? Well, because like I said, I find this a comedy of error, but the level of, I'm going to try to find the nicest word I can say.
This is not a comedy of errors. This is being done purposely by people that know what the law is.
Look, I'm not going to say incompetence, but I'm going to say malfeasance, to say the least. And that's why the first thing I said, well, who signed off on this? Because, why are we doing this in issuing permits that can't be issued?
Yeah, but to be frank with you guys, this is a small one compared to some of the stuff that I found out. I mean, the stuff that I'm finding out, I don't know what's going to happen with those that signed up on this throughout the last few years, because it's outrageous what's happening. In particular, at least the area that I'm observing, that I'm responsible for in particular, which is District 3. And this is why I'm here. I'm protecting those that don't know how to defend themselves. This is supposed to be, probably after Bayside, the second biggest tourist area in Miami. And we're going to have it looking like if this is some kind of third world bazaar. Please, did anybody find pictures of that? I mean,
I've seen them because I saw them today.
But the bottom line is, no matter what my personal feelings are, it's illegal. It's illegal. And I'm sick and tired of seeing individuals that work for our city, whether at the lower echelon or at director level, trying to protect people and make what's illegal somehow because they have a title and they can sign off legal. And if I have to, just like I've gone to court today, I will go to court on other points too, to make sure that our city laws are going to be enforced, and people in my district, in an area that affects all of the city of Miami because it's a major tourist area, are going to be protected. And I'm sorry that I've had to come to here, believe me, I don't enjoy this, and I really don't care how many people are going to get their next check. so they could write about me crap and say lies and do whatever they want. I'm not going to be intimidated. They're not going to stop me. They can send whoever they want, finding out in the MRC if they know any dirt about me, so they could come at me, or post it on sites. Good luck. A lot of better people have tried and haven't been able to. But what I'm not going to do is to back off from protecting my district, my neighborhood, the city, and I'm not going to let myself to be intimidated by anyone in that. If, and I dare his clients show any property that they have in Little Havana that I pointed out to, that I'm wrong, that is perfectly fine. And gentlemen and lady, it's frustrating when you have to come time and time again to send and show code enforcement serious violations that we have, and it seems very little is done, if not nothing. And you see it time and time again. And like I said, this particular issue was going on way before I got here as a commissioner. But I have to ask, why then the code enforcement officer that was in charge for that block never saw that pole illegally and how they built illegally, like if this is a third world neighborhood? Nor did they see any of the other code enforcement violations there, or numerous others that I have in my district that I won't bother you to address them here. It's not the appropriate place or time. But I just wanted to express my opinion,
Just so
take
that you
my
know,
time.
there's two of us up here that live in your district.
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
So we're aware. It's not like it's going by unnoticed.
But truly, any of these fine chaps, that none of them live in our city of Miami, they wouldn't put up with something like that for 1 hour in their neighborhood without screaming, going to the top echelons of City Hall. Why should those people that live in Little Havana have to put up with that? Why should we show tourists that come something of this nature, like if we're a third world country, when we're not? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner.